Hey guys, welcome to the Trash Picture Show. I am back reviewing an older figure from my collection. This was given to me by my former housemate and a very good friend, John Cullen. And this is the NECA God of War Kratos. Now, this guy I love. I think he kicks arse. No hate towards the new God of War games, but I prefer the older ones. I'm a big sucker for classical myths and legends, particularly the Greek myths and legends. And I think this God of War, this Kratos, had a much harder edge which was suited to those type of stories. If you've read any of the classic Greek myths, or if you've done classical studies, you'll realise that the Greek gods and titans were bastards. They were incredibly spiteful, incredibly petty, and they were incredibly cruel. And unfortunately, poor Kratos' family suffered their wrath, and as a result, Kratos decided to take them on with a bloody vengeance. And I have to say, I absolutely adored the voice actor for the original Kratos. Terence C. Carson done an amazing job.
They've built this temple to offer prayers to Athena! This entire village stands as an affront to Lord Ares! Burn this village! Burn it to the ground!
I can see why people appreciate the new God of War games. Their understanding of the Norse mythology and working it into Kratos' mythology works really well, and Christopher Judge kicks arse. I loved him as Tilk. He is essentially the modern day equivalent of Keith David. His voice is amazing, but there was just something about Carson's voice that told you this Kratos was incredibly vicious and didn't give a shit about anyone or anything. He wanted his revenge, and by Christ, he'd get it. I love those games. I know when you look back on them now, they're a wee bit cringy. When you look back at them now, there's some stuff that's really kind of fucking cringy. Especially the sex scenes with Kratos, they are incredibly cringy. But there are some really cool moments. It's incredibly violent, incredibly gory. I love that. Maybe I'm just one of those nerdy neckbeards who like the way things were, but I don't know, I just love those old God of War games for the PS2. And yeah, again, they may not have aged well, but I think they captured the essence of Greek mythology really well. Again, the Greek gods were very petty and incredibly cruel. And you know what? Kratos returned that cruelty in kind, and you see it in all its carnage and glory in those old games. So that's why I love them. So enough about the games. Let's have a look at the figure. First off, this is an older NECA figure. If I'm not mistaken, it came out in 2007. But yeah, sculpting wise, it looks absolutely gorgeous. I love the face sculpt on Kratos. It absolutely kicks arse. Just the scars and that face. Again, I think the newer games have softened Kratos a bit too much. And you can really understand why this guy ended up becoming the bane of the gods. I mean, he is absolutely vicious looking. Just going over there, and you can see his armor and stuff. Really nice paint work as well. Give it a nice coppery finish. Just the paint on his chest, and the chains on his arms, and his tunic. Again, really nice detailing. Like the tattered tunic there. Flip it to the back. Just those kind of Greek chevrons there are really cool, and the loops in the tunic, the bronze loops, and his gloves and such. The detailing on this guy is just impeccable. And going down to his kind of boots and stuff, there's kind of blotches of red to show he's been kicking ass and murdering his way to Olympus. Just really nice paintwork. Articulation wise, he is fairly limited. Again, I'm not going to be too critical because this is an older NECA figure. So you have a bit of rotation in the arms there, but there's limited shoulder movement. And same for this one. Very limited articulation in the elbow there. There's a bit of movement in the wrist. Going down, there's very basic articulation here in the leg. There is a joint here on the knee, but again, very limited. And the same on this one. And there is some articulation here in the leg as well. Again, what he lacks in articulation, he more than makes up for in detail. Again, the sculpt is really nice on this figure. And you just look at his face and you can see why Ares made him the god of war. It's an absolute badass figure. Weapons wise and accessory wise, he comes with these. I think they're called the Blades of Exile. And you can take them out like that. There's 2 of them. And again, really nicely detailed. Like you kind of get the feeling that these were once maybe some kind of creature that was killed and used to forge the blades. There's 2 of them. This one here as well. And again, that's pretty cool. You can remove the handle base if you have trouble getting it into his hand. You can remove the handle base, but for the most part it's actually fairly easy to slide into the hand there. So yeah, really like that. The other accessory he comes with is this is Medusa's head. And yeah, Kratos cut off her head and essentially uses it as a weapon in the game to turn his enemies to stone or freeze them. And it's not just the head, it's the hand here. So I'll actually show you me switching that out there. And you can pop it on like so. And there he is holding Medusa's head. So yeah, that's pretty cool. And lastly, the last accessory he comes with is essentially this plain black stand. There was 2 pegs for his feet, but one of them broke off, and I just flip it to the bottom there, and as you can see, 2007, NECA, made in China. And it goes into his foot here. Yeah, that's kind of him with the stand working. So yeah guys, that is the figure right there. I'm going to pause the video, and when I come back, I'm going to compare him to some other figures. Don't go anywhere, I shall be right back. And we are back, and there is Kratos in my throne room, and I'm going to put another NECA figure next to him. I'm going to put the Arkham City Harley Quinn next to him, just to see how he scales up to another NECA figure. And there we go, there is Harley next to Kratos. And yeah, Harley's a bit of a thing and Kratos is a giant, so it kind of makes sense that he'd tower over. So yeah, let's put him next to someone who's a bit more his own physique. And I'm going to put my Mattel Masterverse He-Man next to him there. And yeah, he kind of towers over him, but it makes sense because it's Kratos. And he is the god of war. But yeah guys, I really like this figure. Despite the limited articulation, I think he kicks arse. It is a badass figure. The detailing really makes him pop and makes him stand out. The paintwork on the armor and the clothing and stuff, it's just gorgeous. And as I said before, what he lacks in articulation, he more than makes up for in detail. And it just gives the figure that bit more personality. But yeah guys, what do you think of this figure? Do you have a Kratos action figure? And if so, is it a bit more advanced in articulation than this one? Let me know in the comments below. And which do you prefer? Do you prefer the old God of War games, or do you prefer the new ones? Do you prefer the Greek mythology or the Norse mythology? Let me know in the comments below. My name is Martin. This has been the Trash Picture Show. And yeah, have a good one. Take care. Bye now.
Yeah.